Yeah, that's an outstanding point. But look, most people struggle to get involved in state elections or federal elections, let alone local government elections. But as you've been pointing out now for some years, it's crucial what happens in these town halls with these councils, particularly at a time when planning permission is such a big issue because we've got such a housing crisis.
Yeah, look, what we have is we have a real showdown between the state government and local councils. And what we keep seeing, the changes this year to the single-member ward structure were designed by Labor so that they could have useful idiots in each of their councils. And this year, Steve, we've seen Labor go on a march where they're not consulting councils over the planning density changes. They're pushing them on them, and they are behaving in an unhinged manner in our suburbs today. We are seeing, pardon my French, shit sheets go everywhere against any candidate who stands against Labor, because what the Labor MPs in Victoria want is useful puppets that they can throw these planning changes and anything they like through, and they don't want councils speaking up against them. I mean, we've seen in the city of Stonington, the only Labor councillor unleash an unhinged absolute attack that was in The Age today, absolutely defaming over 2 pages, one councillor defaming the current mayor. I mean, this stuff, you know, through her own campaign activism, people letterboxing for them to take people down who won't do Labor's useful idiot work. We actually need anyone who's a member of a council that's running, anyone a member of a political party must be on the ballot. Who do you do the work for? We've even seen, Steve, this ridiculous statement come out of a Liberal, of all people, councillor in the city of Maroondah, Rob Steen, saying, I'm doing a good job because you don't know who I am. If you don't know who I am, I'm not doing the job. I mean, these councillors need to pull their head in. It is only local government, the tribal warfare, the promises that they can't deliver. Victorians just want their suburbs to be clean, safe and not overdeveloped. Is it too much to ask, or are we dealing with a bunch of social activists who can't get their stuff together?
I think the latter. I mean, I lived through New South Wales council amalgamations. A lot of councils were put into administration, and then smaller councils were swallowed up, and they have a lot bigger councils across all of New South Wales, particularly metropolitan Sydney. Should Victoria be looking at something like that?
Yeah, look, we have advocated for a very long time that these councils, 79 of them in Victoria, and let's be clear, the average metropolitan council is spending up to $1 million. The state government doesn't pay 1 cent for these elections. Every ratepayer pays to elect people they don't know. We need to amalgamate these councils, drive some efficiencies, make these CEOs that are on $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 a year accountable. They have no KPIs. We need to start reducing the number of councillors and making them responsible or turfed out at the ballot box. I mean, what we're seeing is just this social, unhinged garbage coming out of our councils, no accountability, the administration not being held accountable, and councillors promising to do all these things that no one asked them to do. Let's get councils back on track, let's make them transparent, and let's make them accountable to our communities or turf them.
I've written in the Herald Sun today, it'll be up in the paper tomorrow, about these crazy promises from the mayoral candidates, the Lord mayoral candidates of Melbourne, like, you know, letting your boss take you out to lunch and get rid of FBT. And you've got all sorts of crazy promises about, you know, giving away free coffee and exercise classes. I mean, these people just are not concentrating at all on what the people of the city want, which is a clean, safe city. No, get rid of the homeless people, get rid of the graffiti, pick the rubbish up and get rid of half the bike lanes.
Steve, we're singing from... What I'm really about is that we are seeing the rise of activism so much into our councils that I'm actually surprised this election cycle we haven't had candidates promise to give you time off to go to an anti-Israel or a pro-Palestine protest on the city. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. Let's get back to basics, fix these councils, make them do their actual job, not everything but. And actually, if we have bureaucrats that won't do that, sack them, get rid of them, and get councillors to start running these organisations better.
More power to you, Dean Hurlston. Thank you very much, mate. I'll talk to you again soon.